Hey guys, how's it going? I'm gonna post another video here. We're gonna do some golf clash holes. Not really sure, don't really have like a game plan. I'm just gonna play just a variety of some things. I think more people want to see, from what I've been seeing and hearing from, is most people want to see some more like intermediate type wins and something where you can get a little bit more precise. So I was probably going to jump back to one of these earlier tours, 4, 5, 6, somewhere in there. No real game plan. Haven't played these tours in quite a while. I've been playing a lot of 2 or 7. Just a kind of tournament prep here. Aside from that, I've been kind of staying exclusively to Tour 11. Last week I didn't even really play at all. I think I might have got like, I think I finished 100th in my league last week for playing. So it was either 100th or 99th. So I dropped down this week to Master 1 and then did the Master tournament this week. All right, so it looks like Tour 6, we're on the short tees. I'm not used to playing over here, but with that, I'm very familiar with winds like that. It seems like on Tour 11, you'll get a lot of this. So one of the things that I'll try to do, I don't know if you guys try to go over to this fairway, it's probably the smartest way to play into the wind, to get it down there as far as possible. But you want to make sure that you put enough left spin on this shot if you're doing it. And you see I kind of favored the left side with my shank too, to make sure that it's way up here, because you see it taking the slope there. I've ran through that fairway several times. It's not really going to happen 9 in the face. I really didn't have to be that protective, but yeah, you can run through that fairway pretty easily. So it's always good to just favor it to the left here. I've never missed that fairway left of the fairway, so I mean there's no point of not putting it over there and just making sure it doesn't run down and fall in that right rough over there. So this guy seems like he has a mile. Looks like he's using one of those Quasar balls. Perfectly fine, especially, well, he got some rough bounces there. You kind of want to avoid that, especially when you're playing somebody like me who has a Cataclysm 6. If I get downwind here, I can put this way down there. They didn't give me the winds, so I'm probably a yard or so of getting way down there. But I mean, you see with my top spin, Cat 6, I can almost get full top spin on this thing. So 5 miles per hour, I'm going to try to underplay this wind. I'm going to make sure I don't hit it into that rough. Plus it's downhill, so you have to factor that in. So you see I kept my shot arrow on the short end of the circle there, just to make sure that I hit the fairway foremost. And then you took advantage of the top spin. So this guy into the wind, I mean, he's basically just looking best case scenario here, just getting it on that fairway. I would do like a little bit of front spin, kind of like what he's doing, and then he's going to have to go full ball as well. And he has to hit this pretty solid, especially if he's only going to put a couple bars. There he goes, doing 4 bars. Now he should be perfectly fine. He's giving himself a lot more room. He could basically just release this anywhere in the bullseye, and it should definitely be safe. With only a couple bars, it might run out of steam if you shank it a little bit, but with that, perfectly fine. The only thing you have to protect against is overspinning it. So So one of the things I like to do on this is about 3 bars. You know what? Actually, let's just go for this thing. I'll just go for the dunk. Let me try to figure out how far this is. It looks like it's about 3/4 ball, maybe somewhere in that. Probably have to go like a little bit over a bar here. Looks like I underplayed it. Nope, I got it. So, one of the reasons that, I play the tournaments that I do play is because coming down and hitting some of these shots, they're just, a little bit easy to come down and, either try to pull some crazy stuff. So occasionally I'll miss that, and I'll miss it. Like, I'll still play the wind right, but it'll like land on the front cup and then run into the pin, or I'll send it a little bit too far. And those are always the worst, because if they hit the pin, like my ball was so far down into the bunker. So that's the only thing I have to worry about when I'm trying to play that shot, is if that's going to happen. Not bad there, not bad. That's pretty good use of that slope. Just a little bit. You need to get it just a little bit higher up there. And maybe he would have been able to run that down right on that thing. So you saw how I played that hole. I could have just as easily, gone for the normal pitch. And like I said, the other way that I play it is about 3 bars of backspin. Any more, and it likes to have too much bite that it'll come off the front. That's why I try to stick to 3. Try to stick to 3 bars there. So let's see if we can get a few more games. And I'll do, just some variety of shots here. Try to walk you through, like, what I'm doing setup-wise, if possible. I mean, with that pitch, as you notice, I really rushed that to even get it off. So there wasn't a lot I could explain, but you saw what I was trying to do. If you go back and look at the spin, one of the things that I was doing with that pitch was, I think, spinning it back to the left a little bit, just to make sure, that if I miss the dunk, that it tries to stay on the green and doesn't spin off the front into the bunker. So I was putting maybe just a tad bit of left spin on it, just to make sure that it stayed up on the hill. This is another hole that I like to go for a backdoor side spin shot down the hill. So we'll see if I won't be able to maneuver something and play this one very similarly. Of course, I could also go for the dunk, probably, especially on toward, depending on what wind. See what kind of winds I can get drawn, but I'm gonna try to do full spin here. Hopefully I don't regret this decision, because I think I am going to start running out of fairway here. So one of the things that I'm going to try here is to really cut this corner a bit, and then not only cut the corner, but make sure that I'm spinning it left, away from running into the rough there. So you see there's like a hill there, and it stops short of the rough. And putting it down there really gives you a chance to attack this hole. There's 2 ways to do this one. You can do it with this rough shot, which I'm assuming this guy is definitely going to do, but maybe not. He does have a sniper 9, but yeah, this is This is kind of the more common shot. Now this is uphill, so one of the things that you want to consider is a lot of times you have to underplay this wind because it's uphill. So when you're hitting uphill, there's less, the ball doesn't get off the ground quite as much, so it doesn't go into the wind quite as much. So you always have to underplay your wind. So I don't really remember how I used to play this. I'm just going to kind of wing it, and one of my goals is to get it to kind of just bite to where it doesn't have backspin, but it just stops, kind of like a stop shot. So I'm going to go into so as you see, I'm going to try to stop it right about there with 4.8, maybe I'll go maybe about 2 bars or so. Nothing too much. And I was really late to release that. So this is going to come in a little bit flatter. It's not going to take the slope as much. It's going to probably be long because of that, no matter what. So that shank really, the righter you get it here, the more it hits into that hill and stops a little bit, like a lot faster. So that shank that I just did there really, really made things worse for that shot. A lot worse, because it didn't take the slope, didn't hit into the hill and stop. It basically just went right through it, and that's why you see it being long like this. But you could see the way my ball was stopping with, like, I think I hit like 6 bars there. It just kind of, that third bounce, it just kind of stopped as opposed to jerking up or down, like forward or back. It just kind of stopped, and then it'll like run down the hill basically, had I did that correctly. Ooh, man, I haven't seen this hole in forever. I definitely really don't know how to play this hole with a 3-wood, so I'm not even going to attempt to do that. I'm going to try to utilize this slope a bit, maybe with like 1 bar of backspin here. So I'm going to do something like this, and then possibly pull it up over here. This looks pretty good to me. So one of the things that I'll try to do on this hole is really slingshot this and get it to utilize a lot of this slope up here. So I'll hit it kind of high, comes down, gets on the green there. It still has a pretty decent momentum. I think this one's going to stop a little short to the right if I remember. Just kind of the way things are going here. I haven't played this since the tournament was here. And when I did it with the tournament, it was from the master tees. So it's a bit different shot. I mean, I think you can even do this with a 3-wood here. As you see, I kind of stayed away from that. You see, the way that I like to play it is kind of rolling that hill, rolling down that hill. I don't know if, I'm sure maybe, somebody could have figured out a better way to play it than me, because I just don't really play this tour very much, but I can get it down there reasonably close, within a yard or two, pretty consistently, as long as you're somewhere on the mark there. The only thing that I can say about this guy is his was coming in a little bit slower. You want to avoid that because it's going to be shorter and to the right. So this one's coming in. It looks like it stopped about 2.5, 2.15. Okay, so let's go. Is there anything up here? can do something with a little bit more wind. 6-star hotel. I really like this course. The courses on this. One of the things that I like most about this is some of the risk reward holes on this. There's quite a few par 5s that you get the right wind and you can just be way down there. And taking advantage of that makes this an interesting tour for me. Another tour that I really like is Tour 2, which is the same as the Tour 7. They just changed it though. So, yeah, I don't think I'm going to like it as much. I've been hearing guys say that some of the Tour 2 holes are winding up in Tour 5. So I don't know if that's officially where they are or not. But the old Tour 2 holes, I was definitely a fan of. I really liked. Okay, so you're going to get to see something a little bit more interesting here. With a 9.5 wind, I'm thinking I can aim about here and just kind of go straight at the hole. So, one of the things that I'll do, I'm probably going to take off maybe like a half bar here, not very much. But I know that I can, if I hit this right, I'm going to run out of real estate here and it's going to go through that green. So I definitely want to avoid that. Perfect ball. Now let's hope I played the depth right. It looks like I did. I got the fairway bounce, got the rough bounce. That's good. Right on the green. So had I put full topspin, which I'm trying to think of how much I get, it's like 6 bars with my driver, I would have been way up there. I would have been through the green. So I didn't know how much to take off because I don't get to play this shot much. I'm just going straight from memory. So one of the things that you really want to focus on is remembering the way you play certain shots. If you can't remember, it might be best to write them down. Problem with writing them down is I feel like when winds change and stuff like that, it's going to be harder to compensate for all that. So it's best to definitely have like a solid memory bank. As you can see, I kind of remembered where to aim there. At least reasonably close. I think I almost hit the rough if you were to play that shot back. So it was pushing the bounds a bit on the left side. But for certain winds, I think, so if I had for example, a 12 downwind there, I'm pretty sure I can go to that little gap. If you went back and looked at the video, I could go just to the side of the bunker where it's in between the rough. And of course, that's only with Apocalypse 5. It's very specific to, but it's best if you can do something similar. Like if you can just size it up and say that you have to play X amount of wind on your club full ball versus normal, or if you can count rings. Like if certain winds go 5 rings for your driver, or 7 rings if it's more of a wind. It just helps you kind of visualize where the ball's going to land. So let me go back. What tour haven't I done? I haven't done Asia. We can do Asia. So you see a lot of guys, they'll switch their bag around through a lot of these tours too. The way my Cataclysm is, it has a lot of stats, for everything: backspin, topspin. I don't really find the need to switch my clubs around too much, thankfully. Every once in a while, of course, having a Guardian that can go 9 bars is, it's great to have, but It's also not something, that you need. You don't need it. You can execute shots, more importantly, than setting up your bag a certain way. So, sure, like a perfect example is like Tsunami. So I don't have a lot of ball trail, but I don't need a lot of ball trail. I know the way that, just from seeing what I have, like the 2 or 3 bars, I can tell how far I'm going to run it out based on just hitting shots into certain holes. So I can just visualize what happened last time, and that's definitely, something useful, that if you can do that, it's very advantageous for sure. So let's see what I can do here. Try to get it up towards the end of the fairway. Stop. Ooh, hit it in the rough. So that's okay. You'll get to see some rough shots. So that'll work. Plus we have one of the more interesting winds here. It's not like a couple miles per hour. We're already above 10. I think I was at 9 something, and this guy has a 15% ball instead of a 25. So this guy hit his right into the middle of the fairway. There's quite a bit of different ways that I play this from the rough. It just depends on what kind of wind that I get here. So here I got downwind. I usually try to aim for like here as a landing zone. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive with it. Maybe 4 bars. I'm going to try to utilize my spin a little bit. Definitely make sure that I'm going to land over the rough. That's kind of key. And I'm also going to bring it in right to left. Perfect ball. And it looks like I probably should have took off 1 more bar of backspin. That really checked up there, but it is what it is. I kind of have it pin high. Didn't have to work too hard there. You saw what I was kind of doing with my wind play. I turned it to the side and then, just pulled it like about 3 bars, like 3 of those rings. So like yellow, the red, and then the blue. Like I basically adjusted those 3 rings over and then just curled it a bit more than it was showing. And one of the reasons that I didn't hit the shot that I hit with the full backspin is if you saw the way that it was bouncing. So if you went back and played my video, I could just tell the ways that the ball was bouncing with full backspin there. It wasn't that good. It wasn't appealing. There was no shot there that was going to make like a reasonable approach that would have had a chance to go in, anything like that. All the bounces on that fairway were just terrible. So that's one of the good things about seeing that shot trail. Like it really helped me to talk myself out of doing one of those shots. Because it just wouldn't have been worth it to hit it with 5 bars there. Okay, so this hole is one of the more interesting ones. I like this one. So, okay, that's interesting. I've never seen this approach. I really hope this guy doesn't do this. There you go. That's a little bit better. That's not bad. Still don't think he should be hitting this shot. This is too small of a landing zone. And he hasn't even started to... Good luck, dude. Wow. I don't even think he's going to get it off. I mean, he may have got that off, but I'm just not sure, because there's definitely some screen lag in this game. The way that I do it is, I believe, about 3 bars of backspin and then hop this bunker. I think this is the way most guys play this shot. So again, I'll do probably maybe 4 rings here, 3 rings. So I'll move it over here. See, and just make sure that one of the biggest things is making sure that you land it before the rough, which I did. Hit the green. It's just a little bit left of the cup. So I overplayed that wind just a tiny bit. So there it says he didn't even get that shot off. He was doing a risky shot. He had to land it on a dime. Like, he was gonna have a landing zone of a few feet, which I never recommend doing shots like that. But anyway, I hope you guys found this video entertaining or helpful in some way. And if you guys have any other suggestions, feel free to comment on the videos that I have and say I want to see more of these shots or something along those nature, and then I'll set up, because I can set up whatever. I'll put my bag however you guys want to see it too, if you need that. But yeah, hopefully this helps you guys and you can figure out how to play some of those intermediate winds in those mid tours there.